you.
And I don't know if there's another place that I could call my home. Oh, Idaho, Idaho, where I've come from, where I've grown. Oh, so I was planted, where I've grown.
Yippee-yi, come and fiddly-eye, one fiddly-eye to solo, one cowgirl, one cowboy, and 1 week to roll. Yippee-yo, come and fiddly-o with a fiddly-o and banjo, singing their window till the cows all come home.
I found her and lost her at the Idaho State Fair, with a sunshade and a parasol and a ribbon in her hair. 600 new Stetsons were tossed in the air. Her blue eyes won first prize at the Idaho State Fair.
Yippee-yi, come fiddly-eye, one riddly-eye to solo, one cowgirl, one cowboy, and 1 week to roll. Yippee-yo, come fiddly-o with a fiddly-o and banjo, singing their window till the cows all come home.
I found her and lost her at the Idaho State Fair, with a plum jam and her honey lamb and a gray speckled mare. My prize bull and prize mule and prize pickled bear met an enemy of my true love at the Idaho State Fair.
Yippee-yi, come a tiddly-eye, one riddly-eye to solo, one cowgirl, one cow.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please find your seats. Thank you.
Banjo, I'll sing neath their window till the cows all come home.
I found her and lost her at the Idaho State Fair. I wined her and dined her like a big millionaire. I broke 16 broncos and 1 grizzly bear, but she broke 1 cowpoke at the Idaho State Fair.
Yippee-yi, come a tiddly-eye, one riddly-eye to solo, one cowgirl, one cowboy, and 1 week to roll. Yippee-yo, come and tiddly-o with a fiddly-o and banjo. I'll sing neath their window till the cows all come home.
I found her and I lost her at the Idaho State Fair. Had a date made for lemonade in the middle of the square. I hog cold and cow cold, but she was nowhere. Gonna land her and brand her next Idaho State Fair.
Yippee-yi, come and tiddly-i, one fiddly-i, two solo, one cowgirl, one cowboy, and 1 week to roll. Yippee-yo, come and tiddly-o with a fiddly-o and the banjo. I'll sing neath her window. I'll sing neath her window. I'll sing neath her window till the cows all come home. Till the cows all come home.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to silence all devices. In case of emergency, you will be directed by electric boat security and fire personnel to the safest exit. At this time, please direct your attention to your right at the stern of the Idaho, where the officers and crew of Submarine Idaho are preparing to march into the ceremony. gentlemen, at this time, please direct your attention to the right of the Idaho to welcome our platform guests. We begin with distinguished shipbuilder of General Dynamics Electric Boat, Lester Jones. Daughters of the sponsor, Maid of Honor Erin Stackley, and Matrons of Honor Tess Stackley and Mara Langer. Newport News Shipbuilding Vice President, Navy Programs, Brian Cacavalli. Supervisor of Shipbuilding, Conversion and Repair, Groton, Captain Brian Heberly. Program Manager, Virginia-class submarine program, Captain Michael Hollenbach. Program Executive Officer, Attack Submarines, Rear Admiral Jonathan Rucker. Connecticut Congressman, the Honorable Joe Courtney. Idaho Congressman, the Honorable Russ Folker. Connecticut Senator, the Honorable Richard Blumenthal. The Governor of the State of Idaho, the Honorable Brad Little. Lieutenant Governor of the State of Connecticut, Susan Bisowitz. Director of Naval Nuclear Propulsion, Admiral William Houston. Our keynote speaker and Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition, the Honorable Nicholas Gerton. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of General Dynamics Electric Boat, Kevin Graney. Escorting the sponsor of the Idaho, Teresa Stackley. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Flower Girls, Olive and Hazel Donovan, daughters of ship's manager Sean Donovan, will present a bouquet of flowers to the ship sponsor, Teresa Stackley. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats. The General Dynamics Electric Boat Singing Group, the Subtones, will now perform the Star-Spangled Banner.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night. Flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. And please welcome once again the president of Electric Boat, Kevin Graney.
Thank you. Good morning, Idaho. And of course, good morning, Connecticut. Good morning, Rhode Island. And good morning for those of us watching our broadcast live wherever you are in the country. It's my honor on behalf of the 22,500 men and women of General Dynamics Electric Boat to welcome you to our shipyard and the christening of the submarine Idaho. The relationship between a ship's sponsor and crew is very special, and it endures throughout the lifetime of the boat. The crew of Idaho is fortunate to have a sponsor who's had a lifelong relationship with and dedication to the United States Navy. It's my honor to welcome our very special guest, the sponsor of Idaho, Terry Stackley. We'll hear more from Terry later, but I have on good authority that Terry and Sean just celebrated their 44th wedding anniversary yesterday, so congratulations. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to Idaho's pre-commissioning crew. Yes, absolutely. You may not have noticed this, but each one of us passed by a sign this morning that states, "We deliver the advantage that protects our sailors, our families, and our freedom." That is the Electric Boat purpose statement, and I want the crew of the Idaho to know, and anyone in uniform here today, that in that purpose statement, you, our sailors, come first. Thank you for your service. Today's event also provides us the opportunity to salute the thousands of people who work hard in support of the Virginia-class submarine program. And this team is made up of the employees of Electric Boat and Newport News Shipbuilding, our supplier network, Navy leadership, the ship's crew, and our supporters in Congress. And I am particularly proud of Electric Boat shipbuilders and thank them for the skills, capabilities, and commitment they bring to their work every day, resulting in this magnificent ship. In shipbuilding, there are always challenges, and Idaho is no exception. A significant portion of Idaho was built during the COVID-19 pandemic, and while much of America remained at home, Idaho's shipbuilders and crew stood their watch and remained committed to the mission of delivering this submarine to our Navy fleet. In this building, work is underway on multiple submarines at different stages of construction, and a major milestone in ship construction is reaching pressure hull complete. That's when the final module has been welded to the rest of the ship. The Idaho team achieved this milestone in the shortest period of time from arrival of the last hull module of any Block 4 boat. And the team accomplished this by meticulously planning the work and loading the weapons and command and control modules into the bow, pairing this module with the rest of the ship, and completing the hull closure with precision ship fitting and high-quality welding. This attention to detail by Idaho's shipbuilders succeeded in getting the gem of the fleet ready for final testing and float off. And while Idaho is officially known as the gem state, it's fair to say people connect Idaho with its most abundant crop, potatoes. I'm a big fan. The Idaho team has taken this to heart. Production meetings are known as mashups. And the boat's official social media hashtag is fully loaded. We've all enjoyed a fully loaded baked potato. And I'm holding in my hand the ship's wardroom coin, the only one in history that I know of showcasing a fully loaded baked potato on the back. When she joins the fleet, the first U.S. submarine named Idaho will proudly represent her state and its history with our nation's nuclear navy. The first naval nuclear propulsion plant prototypes were located at the Naval Reactors Facility at the Idaho National Laboratory, and this included the S-1W reactor prototype developed for USS Nautilus, our first nuclear-powered submarine, which was designed and constructed right here at Electric Boat. From 1953 to 1995, over 40,000 sailors visited Idaho for training before being assigned to nuclear-powered ships. I'd like to take a moment now to recognize 4 shipbuilders who have distinguished themselves by their extraordinary work on Idaho. And they represent individually the collective change our workforce is undergoing. Our highly experienced, distinguished shipbuilders are passing a lifetime of experience to the next generation of shipbuilders who have answered the call to serve our country. First is Chris Kramer. He's been with Electric Boat at our Quonset Point facility since 2018. He started as a sheet metal mechanic, and through his hard work and willingness to learn, he's quickly become proficient at fabricating, fitting, and installing ventilation, along with stowage and joiner work on 2B to 5 modules. On Idaho, Chris played a critical role in completing all joiner work ahead of ship-out schedule with first-time quality. In addition to his responsibilities, Christopher acts as a mentor to new hires. Christopher, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Next is TAG, or Thomas Griffin, known as TAG. Came to EB in 1994 following his retirement as a Navy senior chief and a former machinist mate. TAG has supported the construction and delivery of all 3 Seawolf and all Virginia-class submarines under construction here at Gerton. On the Idaho, TAG oversaw the diesel first run from an engineering perspective and provided timely and accurate dispositions to get the unit running properly. Throughout his 30 years at Electric Boat, TAG has mentored countless engineers and interns. TAG, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Thanks, Senior. Sean Bendick joined Electric Boat 30 years ago. Sean is recognized as Electric Boat's waterfront engineering subject matter expert on the Virginia-class electric plant. On Idaho, Sean was instrumental in troubleshooting and clearing multiple electric plant issues to enable Idaho to reach its land-based steaming milestone. We just reached that milestone about 2 weeks ago. Sean, would you please stand and be recognized? Last but certainly not least is Josephine Jojo DaCosta. You make me smile. She's a pipe welder and instructor who's been working hard at our shipyard for almost 50 years. Jojo is one of the best pipe welders at Electric Boat, and she devotes her time and energy to guiding new pipe welders to success. She's known for being the first person to reach out to a fellow employee and the last to leave the job site. Jojo's submarine knowledge spans 5 classes, including Virginia. And she's someone the EB team can always count on, and that includes her witty comebacks. On Idaho, Jojo mentored a large new group of pipe welders assigned to the boat while staying dedicated to her own tasks. She epitomizes excellence. Jojo, please stand and be recognized. And thank you all for your commitment to Electric Boat, your teammates, and our nation. This year, we're celebrating Electric Boat's 125th anniversary and our company's legacy of innovation that spans 3 centuries. Just a few of EB's many firsts include the world's first practical military submarine, the first nuclear-powered submarine, and the first ballistic missile submarine, with the nation's newest class of nuclear deterrence, the Columbia, now under construction. Our shipbuilders are designing new ships that will ensure our Navy continues to have the most sophisticated undersea warships in the world. We invest in cutting-edge tools, facilities, and technology to deliver advanced capabilities in acoustic superiority, enhanced stealth, innovative weapons, and new missions. We've also become innovators in workforce development and recruiting to counter the challenges every manufacturer today is facing in our competitive labor market. We are committed to helping the U.S. Navy outpace our adversaries and ensure our nation's continued dominance in the undersea domain. Our job, and every member of my team, is to ensure our sailors get every unfair advantage we can load into a boat. At this time, I'd like to recognize 6 special guests on the platforms, and others will be introduced before they speak. Joining Terry on the platform are her daughters, Maid of Honor Erin Stackley and Matrons of Honor Tess Stackley and Maura Langer. Would you please stand for another round, please? Next is a guy who I think understands win-win. Welcome to Rear Admiral John Rucker. And with him, Captain Mike Hollenbach. And also Captain Brian Heberly, Supervisor of Shipbuilding here in Groton. I'd also like to recognize several special guests in our audience. Please welcome the husband of our sponsor and former Assistant Secretary of the Navy, Sean Stackley. I'd also like to welcome Terry and Sean's son, Scott Stackley. Welcome also to Dirk Kempthorne, the former governor of Idaho. And Rob Smith, the Executive Vice President of the General Dynamics Marine Group. And also my rock and the First Lady of Electric Boat, my wife Cheryl. I now have the pleasure of introducing Brian Cacavelli, the Vice President of Navy Programs for our Virginia program shipbuilding partner, Newport News Shipbuilding. Brian is responsible for program execution and financial performance of the portfolio of ships built and maintained by Newport News. Brian began his shipbuilding career in 2002 as a financial analyst and rose through the ranks in finance, contracts, and supply chain management. And prior to his current role, Brian was responsible for the company's procurement, material logistics, and manufacturing functions. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming my friend Brian Cacavelli.
Thank you, Kevin. Distinguished platform party, honored guests, and most especially Idaho sponsor, Ms. Teresa Stackley. Good morning, all. It's my honor to represent the 25,000 proud shipbuilders of Newport News Shipbuilding and to celebrate this special occasion with you. Today marks an important milestone for Idaho SSN 799. Once Ms. Stackley officially christens the submarine, it will be one step closer to final outfitting, testing, and delivery to the U.S. Navy. This morning's ceremony is an important milestone for Team Idaho. Each inch of steel forming the hull behind me represents thousands of dedicated Americans working together to bring this submarine to life. From shipbuilders in New England and Virginia to suppliers nationwide. From SSN 799's brave crew to the residents of her namesake state and her gracious sponsor. Now, I know I'm speaking to the choir when I say shipbuilding is not for the faint of heart. This work is challenging and complex. It takes the will and determination of thousands of industrial artisans across our shipyards and suppliers to build these giants. Our nation's shipbuilding demand is higher than it's been in 4 decades. At the same time, the number of Americans employed in manufacturing is down more than 30% compared to where it stood 40 years ago. Despite this, both Newport News Shipbuilding and Electric Boat have hired and trained thousands of new shipbuilders in recent years, with many more to come. We must, as a nation, do everything we can to continue expanding and strengthening our shipbuilding workforce. It is a noble calling. As we find more shipbuilders to answer this call, Our mission will remain building and delivering submarines that are both unmatched in stealth and strength. Our sailors' lives depend on it, and it is a responsibility we do not take lightly. To Commander Leslie and your crew, thank you for your bravery and service to our country. To Ms. Stackley, thank you for serving as Idaho's sponsor and your dedication to the U.S. Navy. And to all the shipbuilders here today and back home in Newport News, thank you for your unwavering commitment to excellence. Congratulations to all on this incredible milestone. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the United States Representative from Connecticut, the Honorable Joe Courtney.
Good morning. And a early happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone gathered here this morning. It's always a great honor for myself and Senator Blumenthal, Lieutenant Governor Susan Bicewicz, to welcome many guests from out of state to southeastern Connecticut, which over the last 100 years has proudly earned the title the submarine capital of the world. To Kevin Graney, congratulations to you, the entire Electric Boat team, your partners from Newport News, Commander, soon-to-be Captain Randall Leslie, and your crew. Kudos to all of you for your hard work to reach this milestone, the long-awaited christening of the 26th boat in the Virginia-class program, USS Idaho. I also want to particularly welcome Idaho Governor Brad Little and my colleague from the U.S. House, Russ Fulcher. Their presence today underscores the strong political support for our Navy, not just in our coastal states like Connecticut and Rhode Island, but also in their heartland state, which is home to the Idaho National Laboratory and the Navy's Acoustic Research Detachment that are so critical to the success of America's submarine enterprise. I'm sure Commander Leslie and his crew already know Terry Stackley is the perfect sponsor for this boat. She has devoted her life to the U.S. Navy, including over 4 decades serving at duty stations coast to coast and overseas. It's also an honor to be here today with her husband, Sean, the former Assistant Secretary of the Navy, who testified before the Sea Power Subcommittee countless times over the years. It was on his watch in 2011 that Congress raised the procurement rate of the Virginia program from 1 to 2 submarines per year, a rate that has held steady for the last 13 years. As Kevin has mentioned, 2024 is an amazing inflection moment for the Virginia program. In 2023, Electric Boat, a company that is, as he said, 125 years old, made new history, hiring nearly 5,400 workers, and is now poised to hire an additional 5,200 workers in 2024. These annual numbers surpass EB's record even during World War II and the Cold War, and defied all the naysayers, both here in Washington, that it could not be done. Let me be clear, this amazing success was not a fluke. It was the result of a well-thought-out plan going back 8 years, supported by Congress, industry, and the Metal Trades Union. I see Peter Baker, the president of the Trades Union Council, to recruit, train, and retain new workers. Locally, that partnership has churned out 4,000 pre-apprenticeship welders, electricians, machinists, and designers from the federally accredited Manufacturing Pipeline Initiative. This renaissance of metal trades is also happening in our trade schools and even in regular comprehensive high schools, so that secondary high school graduates can literally go to work in the shipyard as soon as they receive their high school diploma. This surge in employment is showing real results. In addition to today's christening, last year, USS Iowa was christened on June 20th. The Rickover was commissioned in October. This year later, USS New Jersey is slated for delivery in September. The Iowa is slated for delivery in December, and the USS Massachusetts in early 2025. It's true that COVID-related retirements and social distancing slowed production, but a new generation of shipbuilders is picking up the pace. With all the challenges our nation and our allies, particularly our AUKUS ally Australia, face, now is not the time to falter in our commitment to keep this growing tempo on track. And today, representing Australia with us is Captain Stephen Hussey, who is working at the Washington Navy Yard to advance the AUKUS submarine program, and I would ask Captain Hussey to please stand and be recognized. As I said at the outset, we're gathered here before St. Patrick's Day to watch Terry Stackley bestow good luck on Idaho with the crack of a champagne bottle. Hopefully this submarine will get an extra boost with the luck of the Irish as well. Best wishes to Commander Leslie and Iowa's crew on your sea trials, and we hope to see you back very soon for commissioning and launch. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome United States Representative from Idaho, the Honorable Russ Volker.
It is my honor to be part of this momentous day, the christening of the USS Idaho. The name, of course, comes from the state that I am honored to represent in the U.S. Congress. And interestingly, as President Graney pointed out, it's a place rich with heritage submarines. Now, when most people think of Idaho, nuclear subs may not be on the top of mind. But for students of history, there is a clear connection. The Navy's first nuclear propulsion prototype was done at a proving ground in Arco, Idaho. The first crew of the nuclear submarine Nautilus was trained in Idaho. The Farragut Naval Training Center on Lake Pend Oreille trained some nearly 300,000 sailors from 42 to 1945. And acoustic testing at the Naval Research Center in Bayview, Idaho started in 1955 and still continues today. University of Idaho has provided training for some 4,400 sailors with radio training school in 1942 to 1945. Now, the fact that Idaho is not an obvious place is just the point. You see, in World War II era, the United States needed a secluded inland place to train and research, and Idaho was that location. And on a personal note, for me and for those that I represent, we are proud. To us, having the pinnacle of technology providing for protection and defense in the U.S. Navy with our name on it, well, it's just plain awesome. So, to the USS Idaho and crew, God bless you. Run silent, run deep, protect our nation, Godspeed, and way to go, Idaho.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the United States Senator from Connecticut, the Honorable Richard Blumenthal.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome Idaho to Connecticut. Wonderful to be with another great seafaring state, and thank you, Congressman, for reminding us of the connection to submarines. I'm really honored and excited to be back again here and to have the opportunity really to say thank you. Thank you to all of the great shipbuilders and their unions who made today possible. Thank you to our men and women in uniform, most particularly the crew who will man the Idaho for years to come. Thank you for your service to our nation. And thank you to their families, to all of the families, shipbuilders and men and women in uniform, and thank you to our veterans who are here today. Would all the veterans here please stand to be recognized so we can thank you for your service to our Navy, to our Air Force, to our Marine Corps, to our Army. Thank you all. You keep us free. We last came together for the celebration of the United States Navy's most recent commissioning, the United States Rickover. That was in October, right after the Middle East erupted in war. The world was dangerous then, and it is, if anything, more dangerous today. with conflicts around the world, and the United States continuing to play a part in keeping the peace and maintaining freedom and democracy under threat more today than ever before. As Congressman Courtney has said, we depend not only on our men and women in uniform, but on the workforce that is vital to build technological marvels like the Idaho. And we enlist them to come work for us with the promise that there will be constancy and continuity in our shipbuilding program. So let me be very blunt. Now is the time to reaffirm our commitment to 2 submarines in the Virginia class every year. And reducing that number sends the wrong message, not only to those shipbuilders, but to the world. Our adversaries and our allies should know of our commitment that we will be constant and unwavering. And I can pledge to you as a member of the Armed Services Committee in the United States Senate, and I believe that Congressman Courtney feels the same way as a member of the House Armed Services Committee, that our commitment will be unwavering to our undersea warfare shipbuilding program, because we owe it to our nation, and the United States of America will not in any way surrender our undersea superiority around the world. It is essential to our national defense. Now, this incredible ship behind me represents probably the strongest, stealthiest, most versatile, most lethal of our weapons platforms. Just a short distance from here, under construction right now, is the first Columbia-class submarine. And just to illustrate how incredible United States submarine shipbuilding is, that Columbia-class ship, that boat, will be 2.5 times the size of this one. Just think about it for a moment. We owe our shipbuilders not only thanks, but support. And I believe that the United States Congress owes them that kind of support as well. So we will keep working, and we will keep supporting our shipbuilders, our submarine program, and the great men and women who man our submarines all around the world. Thank you to them. Thank you to you for your support. God bless our great country and the USS Idaho. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Governor of the state of Idaho, the Honorable Brad Little.
When you're in this position on the podium, all your notes are gone. Everybody said what you were going to say. But let me talk just a little bit about Idaho. Idaho today was the alpha in the nuclear Navy program. Admiral Rickover and his incredible foresight to see what the battlefield was going to look like in the future, basically the evolution was developed in Idaho. The training was developed in Idaho. And in every single stealthy advancement into these incredible machines was perfected at Lake Pend Oreille in Idaho, where our acoustic facility assures that these brave sailors will be as safe as possible. The omega part of it is when this great submarine gets retired, the nuclear fuel core will be stabilized into perpetuity for long-term permanent storage in Idaho at that very same desert where the Idaho National Lab resides. The people of Idaho are incredibly proud. I want to thank Governor Kempthorne and the commissioning committee for the incredible enthusiasm and the awareness. Perhaps here in Connecticut, you might take the nuclear navy for granted just because of its presence here. We have to continually remind Idahoans about how incredibly important. For those that just stood up a while ago that have served, for those that are serving, but more importantly, for the people that are going to come, the technology and the training and the skills that the great workers here in this community have put into this ship means that they will be safe and that America will continue to be the biggest badass warrior in the world. Thank you very much.
And now representing Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont, please welcome Lieutenant Governor, the Honorable Susan Bysiewicz.
Good morning, Connecticut, Idaho, and beyond. It is such an honor to be here on behalf of Governor Ned Lamont and our great state to witness this historic moment as we christen the USS Idaho, the newest Virginia-class submarine to join our nation's fleet. Connecticut has had a long and storied tradition of building the best submarines, and the christening of the USS Idaho is a testament to the skill, dedication, and ingenuity of our shipbuilders at Electric Boat. The hard-working men and women who have poured their time and their talent, as well as their heart and souls into this remarkable and state-of-the-art submarine, represent the very best of our state's workforce. Please give our shipbuilders a round of applause. And I'll tell you, as someone who's a little bit claustrophobic, okay, maybe a lot claustrophobic, we admire the bravery and the courage of the crew of the USS Idaho and our armed forces. Thank you for putting your lives on the line every day to keep our country safe. Please give the crew a round of applause. We are so grateful. And to Terry Stackley, thank you so much for your commitment to the Idaho and its crew. We're grateful for your dedication and support. So as we celebrate this important milestone, let's remember the importance of our nation's submarine force in keeping peace and security around the world. The USS Idaho will play a critical role in defending our country and our allies, and everyone here should be very proud to have played a part in making this a reality. We also thank our advocates, Representative Joe Courtney and Senator Blumenthal, and our federal delegation for bringing important resources to our beautiful state to make this happen. Let's give them a round of applause. So congratulations to everyone. God bless each of you, your families, our beautiful state, and our great nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Director, Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program, Admiral William Houston.
Good morning. It is an incredible honor to be here today to represent the Navy, the Chief of Naval Operations, and the Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program. So As the governor said, every story about S-1W and the Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program has already been stated, but I'm going to bring that to what that represents today, what Idaho's contribution to national security is. Over 55% of our major combatants are nuclear powered. Over 70% of our strategic deterrence is powered by nuclear propulsion. Our aircraft carriers, powered by nuclear propulsion, the most survivable airfield in the world, mobile and capable of being directed by the presidents to provide acres of sovereign U.S. territory nearly anywhere in the world. And this behind us is an apex predator. The enemies of America have no answer for this. This ship, as Kevin Graney says, gives us an unfair advantage against every potential adversary. And I thank Congress for supporting this. I thank the shipbuilders and all of the suppliers who have made this. I support and thank all of the submariners who will man this. This is our national security standing behind us, and I have never been more proud to be an admiral in the United States Navy than today, and recognizing the contributions that the state of Idaho have contributed to the United States. And I will read a quote from Admiral Rickover that represents this. Admiral Rickover in 1981 said this when we were delivering the Ohio-class submarines, and he said, "The burdens of a strong defense are heavy, but those who wish the blessing of liberty must accept the fatigue of supporting it." We are climbing a mountain of construction, of building submarines like we have never built before. This is an incredible thing, and I just want to thank the shipbuilders, the unions, the craftsmen, and everybody who's supporting that. So if I could get a big round of applause for that team. And as we talk about dedicated service to the nation, I would say that being a naval officer is a very difficult job, but it does not compare to being the spouse of a naval officer or somebody who's dedicated your service to the Navy. And I can tell you, Terry Stackley is going to be and is an incredible sponsor. When you look at the bond between a sponsor and her ship, it is incredible. So I think that it's incredible to be a spouse of a naval officer. I think it's even more incredible to be the spouse of a sponsor, Sean. And I know you're very, very proud of her. So just incredible job, Sean. Commander Leslie, you are getting so close to getting this ship commissioned. It will be the first ship commissioned in over 100 years to have the name of Idaho on it, and you and the rest of the Navy are very, very proud. So I'm now going to turn my remarks to introducing one of my closest friends. He's just new to this job, just like I am. It's the Honorable Nicholas Gerton. He is Assistant Secretary of the Navy. His portfolio includes all shipbuilding, all naval aviation, all our weapon systems. And we are recognizing him right now with that horn of a Navy ship. There's no bells and whistles for the Secretary. It is a single horn because that's how important he is. He is a submariner. He's an acquisition specialist, and he is an incredible individual which is leading the Navy and this construction program and countless others to ensure our national defense. So Secretary Gerton, is honored to have you follow me.
Admiral, thank you for that very kind and, if I might say so, a little over-the-top introduction, but I am very grateful. To Terry Stackley, the commanding officer, Randall Leslie, and who will lead the crew of Idaho, and our many distinguished guests, all here today to celebrate the christening of this magnificent warship. And most importantly, to the shipbuilders, men and women who built this magnificent submarine, good morning and welcome. This is special to me as a Connecticut native, joined out of my hometown of Reading, and worked my way through college. The opportunities of the Navy have been manifold to me and provided me great opportunities to which I am especially grateful. I want to make a special mention of a few people attending today: my mother, my daughter, my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, other friends and family who were able to make it here today. Thank you very much for coming. I would also like to thank our hosts today at Electric Boat and the Navy Ceremonies team who arranged today's wonderful event. Here in Connecticut, we build submarines. We are a nation that projects power, powerful ships like Idaho here that enable the nation's power projection. My boss is particularly interested in strengthening maritime dominance, and building advanced submarines like this is one of the best ways we can bring our capability to the world, and we intend for it to stay that way. We also want to thank the ship's designers, builders, and sailors who transform the ships like the Idaho from technical drawings to reality as before our eyes today. I was particularly grateful to my sister who invited me to her high school to speak to her students yesterday, where I talked about 3 different kinds of people we need to build these ships. The government employees, like at Supervisor Shipbuilding here and at our public shipyards and our Navy laboratories. Industry, who builds not just the ships, but all the mission systems that go into it, and of course, our sailors, both officer and enlisted. I ask all of you to consider helping the rest of America see that this is a great opportunity to be a part of. And if you don't want to go to college, we have work for you here and in other parts of the nation that are building these ships and the systems that go into them. As much as we admire Idaho's impressive capabilities, can't forget that she wouldn't be possible without the perseverance, hard work, and dedication to detail that come from the big Navy and industry team that works together on this great project. I congratulate you and your teams on another job well done, and I look forward to congratulating other ship's crews and shipbuilders as I make my way through the rest of the shipbuilding portfolio that includes other types of ships besides this one. Today we begin the close relationship between the men and women who will sail this great vessel and our sponsor, Mrs. Terry Stackley. She has been close to the sea and to the Navy, and it is fitting that Idaho, as a multi-mission submarine, be sponsored by her, who has dedicated much of her life to supporting this Navy. She still works in that area even today as a sponsor for midshipmen in Annapolis, and thank you, ma'am, for serving in this great capacity. Finally, I want to extend my best wishes and good luck to Commander Randall Leslie and the crew of Idaho in the run-up to sea trials and delivery. This will be hard work, but the hard is what makes it great. We know and trust that you will serve our nation and our Navy well. May God bless Idaho, her crew, her sponsor, the state of Idaho, and may God bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Kevin Graney.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my great pleasure to introduce the sponsor of Idaho, Terry Stackley. Terry has a lifelong relationship to the Navy. Her father served as a Navy communications technician prior to taking on a career in naval design. After climbing the ranks at private shipyards on the eastern seaboard, including right here at Electric Boat, he returned to public service with the Naval Sea Systems Command in Washington, D.C. Terry graduated from Western Maryland College, now McDaniel College, in 1979, earning her bachelor's degree in mathematics and launching her on an early career in computer programming. Terry and Sean married in 1980, 44 years ago yesterday, in 1980, and she's dedicated nearly 4 decades as a Navy wife at duty stations stretching from San Diego to Boston, Ottawa, Canada, Bath, Maine, Norfolk, and Northern Virginia, where Sean would complete his career in uniform and subsequently serve as the Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition from 2008 to 2017. Terry is passionate about music, and I can tell you during the national anthem, she can croon a tune. and she served as the music director for her church for 12 years. In 2009, she founded the Lake Ridge Chorale, an audition community choir and nonprofit organization in Northern Virginia, which also serves local charities through concert donations. In her spare time, Terry loves to garden, cook, sew, and serve as hostess, especially for Navy football tailgates and U.S. Naval Academy 9th Company reunions. She loves being a part of the Naval Academy community in Annapolis, Maryland, where she and Sean now live. I know we're excited to have her here at our shipyard today, so please welcome Terry Stackley. My pleasure.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. Senator Blumenthal, Governor Little, Lieutenant Governor Bisewicz, Congressman Courtney and Fulker, Secretary Gerton, Admiral Houston, and Allison Stiller, President of the Society of Ship Sponsors, and so many other distinguished guests, many of whom have traveled many miles to be here today. Thank you for sharing this momentous occasion. I'd also like to give a warm shout out to Governor Dirk Kempthorne and Richard Coburn, the Commissioning Committee of the Idaho, and of all you patriots from the great state of Idaho who have traveled many years to be here. I've been warmed by how sincerely you have welcomed and embraced me in every city, every town, every park I visited in your great state, and I look forward to my next visit. Some half a century ago or so, when I was much, much younger, my father worked here at Electric Boat as a naval engineer. He was equipped with a slide rule and blueprints, and the floating dry dock that he helped design has long been retired. And the many submarines that floated on and off that dry dock, boats with names like the Batfish and the Parchie, they've since been decommissioned. And we've long since stopped naming submarines after fish. Rumor has it, as Admiral Rickover explained, we stopped naming submarines after fish because fish don't vote. When I think about the great attachment between the citizens of Idaho and the crew of the Idaho, I think Admiral Rickover got that right. Much has changed since the days when my dad walked the deck plates here. To Kevin Graney and the men and women of Electric Boat, let me offer, however, that much remains the same. Electric Boat is today, as it has been throughout its 125-year history, unparalleled in expert craftsmanship and dedication. And through your gates, continue to pass generation upon generation of the finest shipbuilders in the world, building great submarines, none greater than this boat before us all. It's not just your job, it's your passion. Americans everywhere owe you a thanks for your remarkable dedication, skills, and patriotism. Commander Leslie and Cobb, Master Chief Skipper, and the wonderful crew of the Idaho, my hat's off and my heart goes out to you for all your hard work leading up to today. But more importantly, to the days and weeks and months that follow to ensure that your boat, Idaho, is the gem of the fleet. I'm honored. I'm honored to be your sponsor and I'm humbled when I think about the sacrifices that each of you will make in service to our country. Of course, you don't do it all alone. As a Navy wife, I have a great appreciation for the teamwork that goes on behind the scenes. That is, your spouses and families who support you at home and who are enabling you and inspiring you to give your all in defense of our freedom. To the many families of the Idaho, you have my eternal gratitude and my admiration. And with that, I need to thank my own family. On this day, we celebrate all that is great in America. And what is greater than family? You are my inspiration. Thank you for being here today. In closing, it has been over a century since the battleship USS Idaho, a ship made famous by her service in World War II, was christened. I think I speak for all of us here today when I say that it's high time we give honor to the state so rich in its naval history, and again, christen another USS Idaho. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to perform the blessing of the Idaho, please welcome electric boat carpenter and distinguished shipbuilder, Levester Jones.
We give honor to all that are here today, and we're thankful to our God. In the end of our prayer, I'm going to ask you to join me with a few words. Would everyone bow their heads and turn their focus to the great God that we all serve, the maker of heaven and earth and everything that is in it. O Lord, the gracious God, our Father, we thank you for this opportunity given to us today, not only to have had private prayer in this awesome place, but today to have a united prayer with all that are assembled in this place, so that we might touch and agree, as the scripture has said, that what we ask we might receive because we believe. We believe, Lord, that these crew members, that they are now blessed to fulfill the words once posted in the northern part of the state of Idaho, that says, we're in it together, or too great to hate. As we accomplish, oh Lord, the mission, they accomplish the mission of our nation, that they may do it with unity and harmony. As you have given us an example by your Lord and Savior, our Lord and Savior Jesus, we now too, oh God, not only pray for this crew, but for the many more that shall sail this great vessel, the USS Idaho. We believe that the USS Idaho, the 799 boat, built by the knowledge and skills and wisdom that you've given to the great workers of electric boat and beyond. We believe that the USS Idaho are now blessed to carry out the nation's naval mission of safeguarding the United States of America and providing security upon the seas. We believe that the USS Idaho will be one of the best to harm its crew, to be a deterrent, even maybe a destroyer to our company's enemy, to our country's enemy. We believe it will be one of the best vessels to protect our freedom. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we believe that the USS Idaho are now blessed by God. If you all may say with me in this final words of prayer, could everyone say with me, we believe. We believe. We believe that the Idaho is blessed by God to carry out its mission. We believe. We believe. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, escorting the sponsor to the christening platform is Kevin Graney, accompanied by Maid of Honor Aaron Stackley and Matrons of Honor Tess Stackley and Maura Langer. The christening is being performed with water collected from the lakes, rivers, and streams of the great state of Idaho.
Now the moment we've all been waiting for. Terry, let's christen this ship.
In the name of the United States, I christen thee Idaho. May God bless her and all that sail in her.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the christening ceremony for the submarine Idaho. Thank you for attending and enjoy your weekend.
By the way.